Today I'm here with Rosa, our lovely model, and we are going to work together. I'm going to drape a skirt muslin to Rosa, first using tape as landmarks and then measuring across the tape. I have Rosa standing on a model stand, which is a very helpful thing to have for a dressmaker so that I don't have to sit on the floor, and they can easily be made or just stack books or something to get her up off the floor a few inches. So the first thing I'm going to do is take tape, and I have 1/4 inch painter's tape, which is a wonderful thing to use, and in a bright color. And could you turn towards me just a little bit? I'm going to start by taping the smallest part of her body, which of course is the waist. So I'll break a little piece here, and it'll be easier if I do it in the back. And turn completely around for me. And if you remember, come back this way just a little bit. For the torso sloper, first I make a waistline that is parallel to the floor, and then today we're going to look at what a natural waistline is in the back. It usually falls a little bit. So now I want to look at the fullest part of her hips. Come back just a little bit. There, right there, perfect. Find the fullest part of the hip. Again, I'm going to break this. It'll be a little bit easier if I do it in stages. Turn this way. Just a little bit. There you go. I'm going to measure from this down 8 1/8 and turn this way. Let's do this. Oh, that one's right on. Great. And then face me if you would. Okay, we're going to finish this here. You can see I want it to be a little bit higher. There. It's real challenging to get this parallel to the floor, and the best thing to do is once you have your tape on, walk far away and take a look. You have a better perspective from a greater distance. That's pretty good. Let's bring that up just a fraction. Now what I want to do is center front. It comes up just a little bit, so we'll have to pull it down. From the hips are good, but I need to pull it down the front just a little bit. Okay, now face the center again. Now, Rosa has a wonderful shape, and she's pretty flat across the belly. Most women go out just a little bit, about 3 inches down, and we call that the high hip. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and mark the high hip. And I think that would be, whoops, just about there. In the normal world, I don't usually use tape, I just measure. But this gives you much more accuracy, and it'll allow the viewer to see more clearly how I measure. Now, turn just a fraction, there you go. I want to put a landmark where her side seam is. And I'm going to aim for the middle of the thigh up to the waist, right about there, and straight down. To come back this way a fraction. I'll put a landmark where her knee is, just above her knee. Could you bend your knee just a fraction? Put it right there. There you go. Okay, thank you. And turn again, I want to see the center back. I'm going to put one down center back as well. Oops, I don't need that much. Great. And back to center front if you would. All right, so I think this is good. Now what I'll do is I'm going to measure and record for cutting the muslin what different measurements are. And just like the torso, the front of the body may be very different than the back. In other words, if a measurement is 30 inches, it may not be 15 in the front, 15 in the back. It could be more in the front or less. So what I'm going to show you before I measure is how the back waist goes down when we wear something. And that is because, can you spin just a fraction? There you go. Our body goes in like this, it's at an angle, and it gets smaller. So I have a ribbon here, and what I'm going to do is drape it around her waist, giving myself about 2 fingers in there for ease, because you want a skirt to have a little bit of ease. So let's see if that does it. Yeah, that's good. That's 2 fingers. And so watch what happens. Turn just a little bit more. There you go. If I hold this, of course, as we all know, when you sit down, your body spreads out a little bit. That's why you have to have that waistline a little bit looser than the actual waist. But if you have it at the normal waist and she's sitting or standing and moving around, as you see, it drapes down. So we have to take that into consideration when making a pattern. So let me get another piece of tape. And what I'm going to do is mark this natural shape. This natural shape right here. So I think what I'll do is start here. There, good. And, oops. Great, and I'll put one on the other side as well. Move this up for a moment. I'm going to take this off now. You see the difference? And on Rosa, because she's got such a flat belly and a trim, fit body, I find she's going down quite a bit. In industry, often, if they standardize something, they only drop the waist about 1/2 inch, but I drop hers a good 3/4 or so. So there you go. This is her straight waist close to or parallel to the floor, but this is the actual waistline that we're going to use. So now you can turn back around, and what I'm going to measure is her front waist, and I would start in the center of the tape, this side to this side. Turn for me. Take the incomplete measurement. First, note what the front measurement is, and then take the complete measurement. Yep. And we're back to the other side. So if I do the math, then I will have a front waist and a back waist measurement, and that's very important. We'll do the same thing for the high hip. Start on the side. Measure the high hip to the side seam. Note what that is right here. And then the complete measurement. Again, doing the math so that you have a front, back, and complete measurement. And then the same thing for the hips. The front hip, and also, again, she has a nice flat belly. Most people go out here and back down. So you want to take that into consideration when you're measuring the front hip, the fullest part of the buttocks. If you pull it in tight, then the skirt is going to be tight under the belly. It's going to cup under the belly. So wherever her high hip is, I'm going to wrap this around for a minute, you need to pull the tape measure out like this, so that you can see the drape will fall straight down. So I'm adding probably on her about 3/4 inch. On some people it may be 2 or 3 inches. So now I have the front hip. I have to hold it and then pull it out a little bit. And turn again, please. And the complete hip. And do the math so you have a front measurement, a back measurement, and a complete measurement. Now, I want to know what her length is from the waist to the knee, and that's on the side seam. And I also want to know what the distance is between the waist and the high hip and the waist and the hip. In this case, the hip is about 8 inches away from the waist. I also will take a measurement all the way to the ankle and to the floor. But for the skirt sloper I'm going to make, we're only going to make it to the knee. For the A-line skirt that I'll make it all the way to T-length, which is about mid-calf or a little below. And I'm going to say that's about 34 inches on Rosa. And back to the front. So that's how I measure for the muslin. Now let's go to the table. I'll show you how to prepare the fabric. I'll come back and we'll fit the muslin to her body.